Hello everyone and welcome back to another video, which is I left it just a week before the AFL, and I'm going to be releasing it on the date that I make this video, the 9th of March, and we are doing the AFL 2023 ladder predictions, and these are power rankings, but I will say the actual position. So yeah, make sure you're listening to know the actual positions. Please like and subscribe if you wish, and let's get started. So in 18th spot, in all fairness, I'm going to go with the GWS Giants. Just really looking like a poor side this year. Had a really bad season last year, finishing 16th, I think it was. I think they just need to start a rebuild up. They've still got a couple good players in there, like Toby Green. Lost a few players like Bobby Hill and so on. But yeah, that's where I'm going to put them for the Giants. They're just not really... they're not. I don't see them improving for at least a couple of years. And yeah, in 17th spot, I've gone Hawthorn just to shake it up for a bit of a bottom two. I don't think they're going to finish 18th. I think they're at least going to win 3 to 4 games. Don't really see them improving again. Just see them really dropping. Lost some good players. They lost some very good players this year, and I think they only have a couple in there, so they gave away some really good players like Jack Gunston, for instance. Still have a few good ones like James Sicily, but not good enough for my rankings, and I've got them in 17th spot, just coming in the bottom two. In 16th spot, I've got the Eagles. Moving up one, I think they're at least going to win 6 games this year. I feel like they're going to improve a little bit more this year, winning a few more games, but still old same with the West Coast Eagles. Got a couple of good draft picks in the draft season, as we know, but yeah, I've got them in 16th spot. So yeah, that would be where I'm going to place them. In 15th spot, just falling in the bottom 4 still, is the North Melbourne Kangaroos. Now, I'm going to see big improvements, and I at least think they'll win like 7 games at least, hoping at least. I think finishing Spooners 2 years in a row. They're still in the bottom 4, but they're just getting out of it now. And 15th will be the good spot with a new coach, Alistair Clarkson, who brought Hawthorn to a few premierships. I just think they've got a few good players, young players. I still think it will take a bit of time for them to fully improve. Still on a bit of a rebuild. North Melbourne look good in the practice match, apart from the Bulldogs, but that's just a practice match. And yeah, I have big hopes for North Melbourne this year, and that's where I'd be putting them. So in 14th spot, it was kind of hard, and I had no team really, but I just couldn't figure it out really, and I think Cardi couldn't either. A few YouTubers couldn't either, but I've gone with the Bombers, just like Cardi. I think 14th spot is just really where you'd put them, to be honest. And if in my all fairness, I think 14th spot is good for the Bombers. Lost a few players, but still have a good couple. Now, it seems every second year they make the 8. I know that has been going on, but I just don't see it happening. I mean, they've got a list that possibly could take up some good sides, do a few upsets, Essendon, and with Brad Scott as their new coach. I don't know how it's going to go, but I feel like Essendon are sort of just lingering out of the bottom 4, but yes, not much different this year for Essendon either, and that's where I'm putting them. So I've just realised I need to put West Coast here in North. I'll swap North over because that's where we're going from. Anyway, now in 13th spot, this is going to be really hard. It's going to take really... This one also took me a while to figure out, and I'm just looking at all the teams. Which one needs to go in 13th spot? Which team looks most suitable for 13th spot? And that I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go in 13th spot with I'm going to make a big call, which I actually had them finishing 11th, but I'm going to go with the Bulldogs in 13th. I just don't see any other team finishing around there. I feel like Bulldogs could possibly jump up at least to 9th. I don't think they're going to be making the 8. However, practice matches looking good, but they're practice matches. But still, I reckon they won't finish any higher of 9th this year. But I feel like maybe 13th spot is a bit harsh for the Bulldogs. But then I just see them dropping. They're getting a bit old now, but they still have quite a good list. It's not too bad, but yeah, I just see them dropping a bit. But then again, possibly they could make the 8, but I just think 9th to 13th is the best spot for the Western Bulldogs. And in 12th spot, I have the team I support. It's Saints, the St Kilda Football Club. I feel like the Saints will drop a couple spots, of course, finishing 10th twice. We're the team to finish in the same spot twice out of 2. North and Saints finished in the same spot this year, and I feel like we're still at that same position, but injuries don't help us. Nothing seems to go lucky. Ever since 2020, we haven't really we looked like an average side still. Of course, Ross Lyon coming into the comp after Brett Radden's sack, which kind of I didn't really see the need for, but because the first half of the season Saints had in 2022 was I think it was pretty impressive, but just dropped off. Got demolished. But I feel like they could still pull off some upsets, but we're just going to have to see how it goes. But I think 12th spot is that good position. Now in 12th spot, 11th spot. Who could I put in there? Who suits 12th? I'm actually gonna go. Just never know, do you? Just never know. 11th spot. Who should I put? You know what? I'm actually going to go put Geelong. Look, I think with Geelong, they just have a big... I'm kidding. Of course I can't put Geelong in there. You know you can't. So, who should I put? Who looks trustworthy of falling down? I think I'm going to go with the Adelaide Crows. So the Crows coming in at 11th spot, I feel like they just decide that it's going to get improved. I feel like they just decide that it's going to improve, They just look like it, and I think jumping up a few spots, 11th, really suits the Crows. I think they'll pull off a couple of upsets this year. The list is getting better, of course, Darcy Fogarty. They've got a few young players also in the comp, and with a week away now, their practice matches have been looking really good, of course, crashing the Dockers. And just taking it up really has... I know they're practice matches, but the Crows just do seem like a strong side this year, and I feel like they'll definitely be around the same side as the Saints and fall into that category of 10th to 12th, I feel like, this year. Now, in 10th spot, this is going to be really hard because there's so many teams here that you just... Now it gets a bit tight and a bit intense. But if there's one team I'm going to have to put in 10th spot, it's going to be the Port Adelaide Power. Now, I feel like they could just make the 8 this year. I really have hope in them making the 8. And actually, I have so much hope for Port making the 8 this year. Possibly, I think they could even finish top 4, in a matter of fact. Kind of like Essendon, make the 8 some years, but not. I feel like 10th is just the better spot for them. I feel like they'll drop against a few sides, but then win against all the poor sides and just get thrashed by some sides. But I think 10th is a good spot for Port, just slightly improving a bit more over the coming years, and that's where I'm going to put them. In 9th spot, I'm going to go with a big call, and I'm going to go put Sydney Swans. Now, I think Bulldogs Sydney will be my big calls of the year. Sydney, they could possibly finish high as top 4. Don't think they're going to make the granny again. But it's just so hard to write the Swans off. When you look at their list and look at their plays, it's just so hard to write them out of the 8. But if you don't know, I think over the past years, if you haven't noticed, any team that gets thrashed in the grand final has at least dropped 5 spots from the year on. I don't know if that's a coincidence, but you can just see it happening with the Swans. You can just... you know, and like what happens is teams that get crushed, there's just so much pressure on them, so much people are leaving, you're just going to get the hate because you get thrashed. Every other team apart from Geelong that's managed to fall out, I feel like Sydney could redo it again, but I'm just going to put them in 9th spot because they definitely range from 8 to 4th spot, I can see in my eyes. Now, let's get into the 8, and you know who's in there. You see the team next to Richmond and Collingwood, and it's the Suns, and I feel like the coach, will he be happy? He'll just be in his chair when the Suns win their last game of the year. He'll be like, yes, we've just made the 8. We've just snuck in, and he'll be so happy to know him as the coach that takes the Suns to the finals. Now, I feel like, though, in the finals, they're going to make it. They're finally doing it, the Suns, but then I feel like they're going to get thrashed. I feel like 8th spot is the good spot for the Suns. You can't really put them no higher than the 8th. Now, I feel like they'll finish between 8th and 12th. They possibly aren't ready yet. Are they ready yet, the Suns? Maybe, maybe not. But if they don't make it next year to the 8, I don't think they're ever going to make it anywhere. The players are just getting better. Of course, lost a few, like Isaac Rankin, but what's that really going to do to the Suns? I feel like they'll finally just be in there. And, they're going to make finals this year, but get thrashed. Now, in 7th spot, I'm going to go... There's 2 sitting in between Lions and Cats, and I don't know who to put down, but I feel like the Freo Dockers are just going to fall in 7th. And now Freo, I can't really have any much to say about them just staying the same. Feel like, though, they are going to get thrashed in the finals. I feel like they'll have a bit of the drop-off this year and then come back, then bounce back a bit more the next year. I just feel like Freo will be have a bit worse of a season than they did last year, but still, I don't think I'm going to write them out the 8. I think with power rankings, 9th to 7th spot is good for Freo, but I feel like they're just going to finish around there. No higher, not making the 4 this year, but next year, definitely up in the 4 and possibly for a premiership. But they do have lost a few players, like Rory Lobb, maybe going to impact them, but I don't think it will. In 6th spot, now I had to do a bit of a drum roll for this, and I feel like the team that's just been pushing in there, and I'm going to go with the Blues. Now, I feel like the Blues could finish between 6th and 10th. I feel like they may not make finals, but you've just been sitting here for 13 years, haven't you, Carlton? 10 years, and you've just been sitting between 14th, probably 12th to 9th spot. You just need to make it. Kind of like the Saints over these years, but I think Carlton are just that next level up from Bulldogs and Saints, and I feel like 6 is the perfect spot. I feel like maybe they'll win a final, maybe. But from practice matches, they don't look too bad. Getting thrashed by Sydney, not too bad, but I feel like Carlton will be in the 8 this year. Now, as we come down to the top 5, I have to put one team in there in 5th spot, and it's got to be the D's. Now, I feel like the D's could finish in bottom 4, possibly making grand final, but I just feel like 5th is good for them. Of course, missing out on the 4, losing 2 of their finals this last year, losing all of them. I feel like the D's just need to kind of sit there and have a bit of a think about what they're going to bring. If they can get their backline working, that's mainly the reason. The forward line is just the issue with Melbourne, to be honest, and it's pretty easy to see. But I've just got them in 5th because I think that they're still a dangerous side, but possibly could make the granny. But I just feel like outside the 4 is probably the perfect spot for them. Now, coming in at 4th spot, it's very hard and a very hard thing to do. You just never know who's going to get in there. But in 4th spot, I've got to go with the Collingwood Magpies. I feel like Collingwood, those close wins, were they convincing towards the second half of the year? Probably not, but with their list, the list is convincing, yes. And again, in another practice match against Hawthorn, won by 6. Always under 7, got to be for Collingwood. But I feel like 4th spot is just... I feel like they'll be like Freo, drop a bit, but pretty much stay the same this year. I don't really see any much changing. Of course, they've got so much ahead of them, Collingwood. A couple of years, I reckon, premiership. That's what I'm saying. In third spot, I'm going to go with the Richmond Tigers. People say Geelong and Richmond are just getting old and old, but really, when you look at it, I just see in my eyes that, yeah, they're old, but the old ones arguably are the most better ones because they're the most experienced ones in the comp, and I feel like Richmond kind of show a bit of revenge against Brisbane, not winning against them or anything, but I feel like they're going to lose all their finals but make the top four, sorry. I feel like third's are just a good spot for Richmond. Be good all season but be bad in the finals. That's what I've said about a lot of teams such as D's, Dockers, Carlton. Probably D's, Dockers and Richmond, actually. Not really Carlton. They could win a couple of finals, as I said. That's where I'm putting them. In second spot, I'm going with the Catters. And, yeah, don't have much to say. I feel like, though, they are going to win the premiership this year. And let me just talk about what's happening with Brisbane and Geelong. Geelong are going to finish second this year. I feel like they're going to have 5 losses. I feel like they're just going to lose. I feel like they're going to lose against the Suns first. Practice match against Brisbane, not really convincing, but hey, it's a practice match. You can't write the Catters out of the top 4. You can probably write them 4th, but any lower than that, that's a big call to write them out of the 4, possibly out of the 8, but not really a chance for the Catters. I'd be surprised if they finish any lower than 4th this season, to be honest. And in first spot, you know who we have? We have the Brisbane Lions coming in at first. I feel like Brisbane are just going to... Now, lots of people write them off first, and they've been doing it for quite a few years now. I just didn't see hope in them until this moment. Now, let's just say Brisbane got lucky in finals, but then got thrashed by Geelong. I feel like they weren't that impressive in finals, but Lions always seem to be good in the season, just never good in finals these years. But I feel like this year, Brisbane will finish first, but lose all of their finals. Another team. I just don't see hope in Brisbane in finals, but I definitely do see them hope in their season, keeping their seasons alive. And I've gone with Geelong to win the Premiers this year. I just see it happening. I can just see it in my eyes. I just see it happening, and that's who I've gone with to win Premiership this year. Now, if I wanted to get into the Coleman Award, I could, and should I? Well, that's up to you, I guess, but in all fairness, maybe I should do my Brownlow, should I? Alright. This year for the Brownlow, it's going to be hard, but I feel like if you're looking at any team here that's going to win the Brownlow, I'm going to chuck in Lucky Neal. I just feel like he could win it. Bit of a silly call, but not again at the same time. I'm just going to go with him. He looks like an upcoming player. Got lots of talent. Arguably say there are so many other players that have more of a chance. Just going to lock him in this year. Brisbane look like an upcoming side, and I feel like that's where he is going to be. Anyways, hope you enjoyed this video. I haven't done one in so long. Apologise. That farming sim video, I'm sure none of you liked. I did lose a subscriber. If you do watch this video, please like and subscribe. Would help out this channel a lot. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next one.